anything much from her, that she would never read or write, and I'd have to be happy with just her learning basic life skills. And that to me really cut me deep. And I thought, how dare they already tell me what she's capable of when I know that at home she's almost reading, she's almost gripping a pencil to write letters, but they're telling me already, no, she'll never do this, she'll never do that. And then she had a pediatrician as well. We had a whole team, you know, everyone's trying to help us out. I knew nothing about autism at that stage of my life. And even the pediatrician said, oh, you might want to consider medicating her so that she can sit in class. And that was my turning point, because she was already in like a special education unit, which was a small class and 2 teachers. And there were children already there who were medicated in order to be there. And it would just break my heart, because they were just sitting down. They weren't taking anything in. They were just sitting down and not being able to be themselves. They were so highly drugged just to be able to sit in school. And I thought, I don't want this for my daughter. I know she's capable of a lot more, and there has to be another way. So that was my turning point, where I thought, nah, fuck this. I need to take full responsibility now and step up. I went to an autism conference, and it was a psychologist there who, after I spoke to her about my concerns, she suggested homeschooling. And to be honest, I had never heard of homeschooling because back then, I've been homeschooling now for 12 years. Back then, it wasn't something that well, even to this day, they don't really want you homeschooling. So they make it as hard as they can for us anyways. But back then, there was no one talking about it. It was this psychologist who suggested it, only because she was homeschooling herself. She had 2 children on the spectrum, and she had 4 in total, 2 on the spectrum. And I thought, damn, if she can do it, I can do it. At that stage, I only had 2 children. I now have 6. And it's just been amazing, the journey, that finding a better way for our eldest, and where it has taken us. It has been a full life-changing experience for us as a family, and even extended family, I would have to say. So then I pulled her out of school, and within a year she was reading little, reader books, early reader books, and she was writing her name, something that they said she'd never be able to do. And I thought, yeah, I showed them in my mind. I just thought, yeah, no, that's it. So we still had her younger sister at school, and I could see her little light dimming. She loved school in terms of learning. She was just such a keen learner, and interested in so many things. But of course, she was at a public school, kids would pick on her because she'd want to do that extra little bit of work, or she'd put up a hand and answer questions, and she was being bullied so much that we pulled her out and thought, oh, let's just try a private school. So we put her into a expensive private school just to see the difference. And we realized that the core of education is the same no matter where you go, if you're in an institution or in, like in a school setting. We realized that she was actually the one missing out. So then I asked, I let my husband know that I wanted to homeschool her as well, and he said yes, yep, for sure. At that stage, he was actually a teacher at he was a teacher at behavioral school, and he said, yes, do it. I know the system's broken, so let's just do it. And then from then on, it's just been one amazing step after the other. Maya, who is now 17, no, sorry, she's 18. I'm not even used to saying 18. She just turned 18. And Friday she moves out of our home and into her own flat. She's just followed her dreams, and she's training horses now for some people in Tamworth. She's so big into horses and she was able to follow all her dreams. Again, because also we did a lot of unschooling, which is mainly child-led. So we followed their passions. And in terms of formal schooling, I think that was only the first couple of years when I tried to recreate school at home, and it really didn't work for us. We, I would say, are more eclectic and unschoolers. And I say that for us, learning is just as natural as breathing, because it could be 7 a.m. and we're stuck into something, or it could be 9 p.m. and all of a sudden a lesson is rolling out just because the opportunity presents itself and everyone's ready to go. So we don't have so much of a structure as others may. We just go with the flow, and that's really worked for us in our lifestyle. And because Joel works long hours and he's had many varied jobs, but it's allowed us to be able to travel with him also at times and just be here when he gets home, and do things out of regular hours. What else can I say? I have my school aged kids now are how old? 12, 10 and 6. And I have a 3-year-old as well. And they've actually never been to school, and I secretly hope that they never want to also. But if they did, I'd be open to that. But yeah, they've never been to school. We've pretty much created the community that we've kind of missed out on, living so far away from family, myself far away from all my family in Costa Rica, because we have a huge family, and I really missed that village community type of living. And Joel has a huge family, but everyone's up north. And we ended up saving up and buying some land. And I suppose the decolonization of our family continues, and we are here trying to grow our own food, off grid, creating our own energy, our own water, and offer a lot of opportunities here for our homeschooling communities and wider our friends and family. So it's like we've got a little village happening here. My father lives with us now. Joel's mum lives with us now. And eventually my mum will live with us. But that's how it would have been in Costa Rica, and that's how it would have been, you know, for Joel as well. And it's just beautiful to be able to recreate all that here at home. What else? I think that a quote that I heard that really made me choose to homeschool, because I did have fear at first. You know, they put the fear of, oh, if they don't go to school, this will happen or that will happen. But a quote I heard was, I never let school get in the way of my education. And that always sticks with me. And I really like that. I think I've forgotten stuff I wanted to say, but I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening and being here with us all. If you have any questions, feel free to message, and I'll do my best to answer them as well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Auntie Adriana. Makes me feel like crying every time you speak. And I know that a lot of us can learn so much from you. And I really love what you were saying about how learning is just as natural as breathing. Like, that is just such a profound statement or comment or life I guess, something that you live by, and that's so beautiful. And also what you shared as well, the last quote, I never let school get in the way of my education. And I guess that's the thing that we are talking about, you know, as we continue on with our workshop series, we start talking more about, I guess, the way that we look at decolonising education and decolonising parenting for us as, you know, First Nations and Indigenous families. And yeah, we just really appreciate what you bring to the space and your experience as well, Annie Adriana. So thank you so much. And remember, family, if you've got anything to, you've got any questions that you want to ask Annie Adriana towards the end of the session, please make sure that you keep note of that so that we can create that space for you to be able to do that. Now, I know that time is getting on and we've been on here for about an hour and 15 minutes. And I also know that it's late for some of you wherever you're linking on. So we won't be much longer. We just wanted to put this little wordle up in our Facebook, in our Kgarum Facebook community. We shared this with some of our community members and got some of you just to type in the comments what words might resonate with you. And collectively as a co-op, we thought about, you know, why do we do homeschooling? Why do we do it? And these words are just a collaboration of the things that we all feel is the reasons why we do that. And you can see that there's words in there like freedom and unlearning and dismantling, because we do a lot of dismantling. There's culture, legacy and hope, and decolonize and identity. Tailored, because you will know that, or you don't know that when you are homeschooling children, it's not a cookie cutter for each child. It's, you know, that you got to listen and tailor it to their individual needs. And so I think it's just important to, you know, just keep in mind that we are constantly learning and we are constantly unlearning as well. And, you know, I'd love it if you could type in your little chat there, in the chat box, maybe what's some of the words that might stick out to you when you think about why you might want to homeschool, or maybe why you do homeschool. And we've all got different varying reasons. And so, you know, some of our children, they might have different learning abilities. Some of our children might have had, you know, really full-on experiences in the homeschool system, in the mainstream white stream system. Some of them might have, you know, they might not connect in there, whatever, for whatever reason. We're not here to bag out the education system, because for some families, it's their only option at the moment. But what we are here to empower you with is that there is another way, and this could be potentially another way for you, so that you can continue to fan that flame in your babies' lives and your little children's lives, so that it helps them to be young people that are, like what Annie Adriana said, going and following their dreams. So like what was shared, as we kind of come to the conclusion before we get to our yarning time, this workshop series that we're going to be delivering starting and commencing next Tuesday, it's targeted for First Nations people who are wanting to homeschool or who are already homeschooling, for ally homeschoolers who are interested in how we write our curriculums and you want to feel more connected with your own curriculums and what you do as well. It's for families that are, you know, you might be a parent, you might be like Annie Adriana, so you're Indigenous to somewhere else other than Australia and you have First Nations children. And if you are not homeschooling, then this series, the next 4 weeks, it won't be for you. But we are looking for ways to create more workshops on fully like decolonising and what decolonising parenting looks like, decolonising education, decolonising our lives. And so if that's something that you're interested in, please post it in the chat, because we definitely will be. This is just the start of something that we know is going to just continue to snowball. And we're really excited about that as well. So for the overview of the workshop series, so next week when we do workshop 1, we will be covering what decolonising our parenting and education looks like. We're going to be covering how to build your homeschool foundations. And also we're going to be showing you ways that we have created our learning plans based around family pillars, values and beliefs. This is for people that want to continue with us for the next 4 weeks. And if you're like, what the actual heck are you talking about? We send out pre-reading PDFs as well to give you some context as to what we're actually going to be covering each session, so that you can start thinking about that as well. Workshop 2 covers how to register for homeschool. We obviously, the majority of us live in Queensland, but if there's any of you that don't live in Queensland, then we can definitely find out ways to support you with registering for homeschool. And then we also look at creating your annual education plans in workshop 2. And then in workshop 3, we give you tools to break down your annual learning plan so that you can look at how you're going to roll it out, every day or every week. But also keeping in mind that some years, I know for me, the way that I homeschool my children or my family is eclectic, and I do also do a little bit of unschooling as well. And so, creating plans might not be something for you, or you might be someone that likes to do that. And so we're going to try and just cover it holistically so that we cater to everybody's needs as much as we possibly can. We're also going to show you how to record evidence for annual reports. We're going to talk about deschooling for any children that might have been in the schooling system and they're coming out of the schooling system. And so deschooling is actually a thing. And we'll go over that. And then also how many hours my child or children should be learning every single day, because it's different for everybody. And then workshop 4 is how to create your annual report, and also how to submit an annual report with the Queensland Home Education Unit. And then we also we constantly, if you continue and do this 4 weeks with us, we will be but we will be providing some really deadly resources in our Facebook community as well, just to get you thinking about, I guess, this space, what decolonising education, decolonising parenting looks like, and also to just thinking about, the school system and ways that, may have not served us, and so then why this might serve you as a family. So do any of you have any of the facilitators, any Adriana, any Bern, any Tintin, or any Layla, do you have anything you want to share on those last slides that I was just talking about? No? Okay, sweet. Okay, so this slide here is just basically a rundown of what I just explained to you. And so it's a rundown of what the paid workshops will look like and what we're going to cover. And so also too, if you're somebody that, you have some questions, about maybe a specific workshop or whatever, this is an open community and an open conversation. And so we want you to, yarn to us and ask away. And if we can answer it, we will. And so down here, you also have the price as well. And so it's a sliding scale for First Nations people and people homeschooling First Nations children. And for our allies and non-First Nations participants, it's $100. And so that's due by Friday, the 17th of February. And that will be commencing next Tuesday on the 7th of March. Oh my God, that is a typo. That is the wrong day.
Yeah, I missed out. Damn.
No, we're not doing it again. No, it's actually due the 25th. Sorry, my bad. No, it's not. It's due on the 5th. It's due on the 3rd. The payment is due on the 3rd of March, and then the 4 weeks will commence on the 7th of March. Anyways, now, if any of you would like to unmute yourselves and ask away, ask any questions that you might have. Specifically, you can ask specific facilitators or just give some feedback on what we're doing. Please don't feel shame. We are a community and a family, and we're going to force you to talk for us. Nah, Gab. This is where I put some music on. Or if you don't want to unmute yourself, you can just put it into the comments, and I will read it from. Oh, someone's saying, oh, yep. Do you want me to just read from the comments first and then unmute yourself? Wait, okay, I'm just going to go and have a look. And if you got a question, you just put your hand up, all right, Megan? Okay, so let's have a look here. I would be interested in diving deeper into decolonising learning. That is a great question. Does anyone want to yarn about that?
I did sort of.
You got to unmute yourself. You have to. Okay.
So sorry, we're in the same room, so we like, we're at gig, so, you know, that's why we got cut out, because, you know, non-profit internet is very unreliable. So now we're all using our stinking hotspots. But yeah, anyway, so like I did jump in with Sarah privately there and just have a yarn about how we are developing some sessions, because the decolonising process is massive, because you can't actually decolonize your education without decolonizing yourself. And so everyone is at a different sort of, you know, level of that. And I don't think that there's ever an endpoint, because we live in a society where we're constantly, I feel like every day I have to decolonize myself. I have to get up and go, like, because every day you check Facebook and you see someone post something about a kid at school who's, you know, they graduated grade 12, or, you know, and you go, am I doing the wrong thing, and am I missing out? And, you know, like, I think that so constantly we're always, or they're posting things like, you know, good bless, maybe I should just stay on social media. But anyway, so yeah, I do find that that process is something that I do almost daily. It's a constant reminder to myself to not continue cycles of thinking that we only learn in a specific way. And okay, maybe not daily, because I feel like, yeah, I guess there's elements, yeah, but we are really, really digging into that, like in future. We just really wanted to get out these sessions first around, you know, how to really navigate the system and to work the system, but still right to your strengths as a family and where you are on your journey of decolonizing. But then we are doing future sessions that will be really, really deep. And so I guess that it's very exciting, actually. We're so excited. And so, yeah, you still will get parts of that, just how we have on our own personal journeys done that. And I'm answering for too long, and Adriana's eyes are hanging because it's 9:30 at night there. I'm sorry, my sister.
There is another question there, Talisha. You're on mute, Talisha.
So I'll answer the question about difference between homeschooling and distant education as well. So homeschooling, you register your own plan with the home education unit. So it's part of the Department of Education for Queensland. They are so freaking supportive of Black curriculums. And I have like recently put in like a full Black curriculum, like where I was like, I feel like every year I go, okay, can I just write it all on one page and will it make it? And it does. And I actually had the home ed unit ring me and tell me how amazing it was to read that and to just see us, you know, doing everything from our own perspective, built on our own foundation. And so they are super supportive. So don't think that it's this process where, like, I feel like because, you know, we have all these teachers in our family who had a passion for teaching and wanted to see young people's lives changed. And then the system is the thing that's wrecked. And so a lot of the teachers that work at the home ed unit are, you know, they know it doesn't work. And so they're really supportive of seeing us do things our way. And so, yeah, so homeschool, you write your own plan. You are required to report back to the unit every 10 months. And yeah, it's like, it's daunting at first, but then it's so easy. And I like, when I started, I used to send in like, I think 5-page plans and reports. It was like a friggin' book, and I'm sure they hated me because I had to read it all. But now I've got it down to like a 2-page of each. And I'm like, that should do. And it works good. And yeah, but we do talk about that a lot in one of the sessions. So distance education is when you sign up to a school and you basically do school at home. Your kids have a teacher who marks everything, so you're basically just delivering what a teacher wanted you to deliver. And personally, I tried it with Leland, my daughter, because she was so, like, you know, when they start at school, it's so hard for them to get out of that way of thinking. And so for her, there was a lot of, oh, you know, it needed to be done like this, needed to be done like that. And I was like, okay, girl, you go. You want to do them things with Jubilee, do it. But then I had a big fight with the teacher. I had lots of fights just because they made them do a speech about why we shouldn't change the date. And they didn't let you choose. And maybe that was a typo, but I was like, what the freaking hell? They made her write a whole report on this explorer who I was like, that lad's a dog. Like, I've read Dark Emu Good Way, read his diaries and the things that he did. And I said, you're not going to write it on him. You're going to write it on the 2 Aboriginal helpers, like the trackers who actually did all the work while he stinking half died out in the desert. Good ways. And then the teacher came and said to me, when she came around, she said to me, so I read a little paper, like, you know, good ways. And she said, oh, you know, so what did they end up doing, them helpers? They just left him. They just left him and took off. It's like legit, one of them was lit on fire and the other one he bashed to go retrieve his horse. So I was like, don't start. But anyway, so when I was doing that, just you really got to check your distance ed schools, good ways, because for me, that was worse than the school that they went to. They were pushing stuff that was so much worse, you know? And so then I was like, no, man, this is exactly what I was trying to run away from. What the heck? And now I've got to sit in, deliver this. So anyway, that's probably a really long-winded answer. But, you know, I know that Bernice can actually talk to, and Tintinara, talk to the different feelings that they've had because they've both done distance ed and homeschooling as well. And even Mirindi's done a bit of distance ed, who's here pretending like she doesn't know.
I think we
So, you know, yeah. So I think I will let one of them and shut my.
I think we touch on this in another workshop, don't we? In one
Annie
of the
Bam, we
workshops.
can't hear you.
Oh, hello. No.
No.
Nothing? Okay.
I can hear her.
Fine.
Sign language.
Or type.
Okay. Well, can you tell them,
Oh,
Adriana?
I can hear.
Can you hear me now? But I think we touch
Can
on
you
this
hear it,
subject
Taisha?
in one of the other.
Can you hear
workshops
Annie
that we're
Bam?
doing.
Yeah, I can hear her.
Can someone
Oh my
repeat
God,
to
I'm on
Talisa
mute.
what I just said?
Sorry, my laptop was on mute.
Oh, you dumb dog.
Sorry.
No, but I think we touch on this subject in one of the other workshops. So yeah.
I think it just depends on what school you go to, because like with Jubilee, they were probably a little bit stricter, but I found that Faith was a lot more flexible. So they were like, well, if you don't want to write what we want you to write, then just find something that's that the kid is interested in. But then that's before the government came, so I don't know what everything's like. So Faith was pretty almost like home education. It was very open and free, and you could kind of do whatever you want, and they would put it down as a learning outcome. But then that did change, which is why I left. So I don't know. The teachers were quite good there
But we
compared to
also
Jubilee.
we did write a letter in, remember, and complain about some of their material. With
I still have it on
Jubilee.
my laptop. Yes.
Yeah. So we did a lot of complaining and
Yeah.
not doing half of their curriculum because they talk crap
Yeah.
or teach crap, really.
So
So,
trial and error.
thank you for sharing that about distance education. And I think it's important to remember as well that, like what I think who was saying it, Adriana or Layla, that there's the foundations are already not set. up for us and our children to win. And so I think when you're looking at, you know, what we're doing as mothers, and, you know, Annie Layla said it to me the other day, she said, essentially what we're doing is we're reclaiming educational sovereignty. And we are really trying to, you know, be people that are determining what our success is and successes for our children alongside them, and really looking at our little humans for who they are as individuals and providing them opportunities for them to be empowered and be inspired and know that they matter and that they are worthy and that, you know, they have the ability to make a massive impact on this world. And we're going to not just fan the flame, we'll just chuck fuel on that flame. You know what I mean? And so I'm just trying to be really contained right now because I just want to get really excited and go crazy. But, you know, I think that it's just, we are very passionate. You can hear, but we're actually being very contained tonight, just for you, Mob. But we're a little bit crazy. But we're really excited and we're just so grateful for all of you that have linked on. And, you know, if you've got any other questions and you don't want to ask them here, feel free to hit us up in our DMs and we'll never...
Yeah, Auntie Mirendi wants to say something. Mirendi wants to say something. Good.
Oh, Auntie Mirendi, sorry, guys.
Let me talk. Again. Thank you. Firstly, thank you all so much. You know, obviously brought tears to my eyes with the beautiful, you know, your heartfelt stories and true stories, you know, and that's the stuff that we, you know, the kids don't get to hear true stories in the ugly system, I'll say. Nah. But I just wanted to just quickly say just a quick thought, because, you know, our creative minds, but, you know, when you pulled out that beautiful word thing, I was going to ask if we could all just add any other words that might come to mind that may not be there before we, like, I don't know, just a thought, but because I already had one and it was like, oh, what's that one? Bra. Oh, bra. What's that one? Nat Given. Oh, you know, flipping heck, the brain, oh, what is it called? Brainwashed, you know, like stepping away from brainwashing, because that's all it is at the end of the day. It's the whole system is about brainwashing our minds. And so I feel like, yeah, just to hear what others might have, I don't know, just a thought. I'll leave that to you guys. Sorry. But thank you so much. This was awesome. I'm already getting some notes down here. So thank you.
That's so, Auntie. Does anyone else have anything that you want to ask or share? Oh, Ebony said emancipation. Heck yes. What is that song? Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. That is what we are doing, Bob Marley. Go, Eb, share about it. I can see you want to say something.
Yeah, no, yeah, Bob Marley, he says, you know, emancipate our minds from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. So we can't leave it up to, like, the government system who have brainwashed us. You know, it starts with us, and we are the leaders of the next generation. We, as women, have the spiritual warfare of our families. So, yeah, we have to step up and do that, like emancipate our minds so we can, their minds don't have to be emancipated. Yeah.
That is gangster, sis. Thank you for sharing that. Maybe we need to put that in the Wordle, emancipation. Hey. Okay, does anyone else have anything else you want to share? Or we can wrap it up because we know that it's like nearly 10 o'clock in Newcastle. No, that's okay. Well, we just want to thank you. So, Alicia, I can see you and your sister, they're talking. Do you just want to say something? How you go? Well, thank yous again for linking in, and we look forward to connecting with you more. And remember, if you want to do the workshop series, you can pay as minimum $25 up to $100 if you're First Nations or your parents are First Nations children, $100 for allies. If you've got any questions though, or even, you know, need to arrange payment plans or whatever, that is totally fine as well. We do not want pricing and costing to discriminate you from this process, and ultimately, like what Eb said, emancipating yourselves in this process. So thank you so much, everybody, again, and have a deadly night and biggest yawo, and we'll look at you soon. Cheers. Yawo.